Hi, my name's Greg. I've had this crazy idea after doing the Stirling Ridge Walk. The ridge is way up there. But the crazy idea to come back here and just have a look at this backcountry here and camp for a couple of days and just have a look at all the valleys and the nooks and the crannies. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what this video is about. Hope you enjoy. Plan is to park the car on Noellen Road along the fire trail, on the outside fire trail, and then cross over into the main fire trail right along 4 or 5 k's, and then turn right up to the fire trail that gives you access into that backcountry valley. So call me crazy, let's go. Now this is what I came for. The back of L&P, Pyonga up the Arrows, big valleys coming down to the south. I think my turn-off's up here somewhere, not far. This side road, it shows on the map is not connected, and I think that was an old road that filled it in, but I think I can pick it up through there. So the road is actually not a road anymore. It's quite grown over, but it's a walking trail now. Well, the sun's getting a bit low, so I better make camp. I did bring a hammock, and I'm going to string it between those 2 trees because they're pretty strong little trees. But there's big trees down in the gully. I'll have a walk down there later, but that's quite a steep gully down there. Some big trees. Didn't quite get to my valley. It's up there somewhere. But I have made camp with the new hammock against a couple of trees, and the little portable lightweight camping chair. First time I've used it, it's a winner. Anyway, we'll see. Could be a nice calm night tonight, I hope. Not a bad night in my new sleeping hammock. It did rain. I had to get up with the fly on, but that was not too bad. Very good, really, and quite comfortable, I must admit. It's all good. It's wild country I'm in here. There's just nowhere to sit. It's just tussocky grass and sharp. And you put your chair somewhere, and then you can just cook in front of you and sit there and eat your meals, and tidy up things around you, and it's worked really well. There's the Misty Mountains. You can't see much of them right now in my little eucalyptus jungle. Here's my camp. There's the hammock set up. The chair, I tell you, the chair just makes everything fantastic. And I'll talk about the hammock as well. You can see where I'm in. There's just nowhere to put a tent up here. Even if there's a bit of flat ground, it's just like sharp, tussocky rocks, and there's no way. You have to go and look for somewhere to put up a tent. So I bought this hammock, and sure enough, there's 2 trees. There's little trees everywhere, and they're quite strong, gnarly old things in this area. They hold the hammock easily, so I set that up. I got in last night and adjusted myself, and I only woke up once. It was really quite good. It rained in the middle of the night, so I got up and quickly attached the fly, which just clips on at the two pointy ends there. That didn't take much at all, and very good cover. I'm down in the gully. That's the riverbed or the creek bed, but it'd be pretty hard to walk along that, and a bit clearer up this way. But I think the go is to walk up on the bank. Following the gully, it's a pretty steep gully. Imagine the water rushes through there in winter time. Clouds are lifting on the peaks. Still following the gully, it's getting pretty thick. But that's alright, you can still get through somehow. But yeah, there's the back of the Three Arrows. Some pretty wild country up there, I'd imagine. I'm approaching the low ridge that I want to get behind. The bush is certainly a bit thicker, but you can find the wallaby tracks that go through. I just want to get around that corner and have a look in that big bowl. I did climb up this ridge. I got out of the gully. The gully was just getting too thick, and this northern ridge just descends into that gully with quite a slope, so you're walking along the slope. But here we are, we can see the whole back country of the Stirling Range here. Very nice. When I did the ridge walk, which is right along the top of those ridges, past the Three Arrows, you always look down into this bowl and you just see this wild country. You just know that no one's ever been down here. You wonder what's down there, but it's probably more of the same, I'd say. Rugged rocks and lots of thick bushing gullies. So that was the ridge I came over, and I've just come through the first gully that's pretty easy and open. Now I've got to get through this second gully here and up to into that main valley up there. I've stopped for lunch, but my God, it's got a bit thick here. I'm not sure if I can camp anywhere that has a great view. Plenty of big trees to put up the hammock, no problem there. But it's just thick bush. So I'll have some lunch and then I'll get up on a rock up here somewhere. Get up on that rock and just see where I am. There's the ridge that I came over. And I crossed a couple of gullies down there, and then the going got really thick in here. Really thick. Found myself a big rocky outcrop with a great view. So I might just find somewhere here to camp. Wear some long pants because you get chopped up by the bushes. Decided to set up camp here because this is my view and it's just beautiful. The fog's coming in, time for dinner and then early bed. It's a misty day out there, nice and cool. I'm just relaxing. I'm actually in the hammock. I'm having a beautiful morning sleep. So I did make it to the rocky ridge above me. I'm camped down there on the next rocky outcrop. So I've made, I don't know what my elevation is, half-hour walk up a hill. Got a rock ledge that I'll be following along. There's actually a sleeping area there. I think I'd rather my hammock, but you could sleep there. So I'll just follow this around. I'll make a little rock can here so I know where to turn off to go down the hill. I have left a bit of a trail behind me, and I do have the GPS. And there's that ridge that I walked through from the end of the fire trail. I went over that ridge in the centre shot there, down through a couple of gullies, and then on up to my camp, which is down below there. I've now walked up to this rocky outcrop. I can actually see the fire trail or the old fire trail that I came up. Top of this rocky bluff now, and that's where we are. My campsite is down there somewhere on a big rock outcrop, but you cannot see it at all. So you'd really want to GPS your campsite position if you're going on a bit of an adventure hike, and or mark the trail back to the campsite, because it's so easy. Just get lost, walk around for hours trying to find where you put your stuff. I'm glad I did mark the trail down with a few broken twigs here and there on the way down. Because yeah, it would be easy to come out in the wrong spot and then have to pull out the GPS, and then you've got to rely on that sort of system. So the good old Boy Scout method of breaking a little twig works really well. Just to finish that story about the trail marking, there's the campsite, and I went up to that first rock face. It took me half an hour to get there, bush bashing. But I started marking the trail about, I don't know, 30-40 metres from the campsite, because I thought, well, hang on, this is pretty thick. Can I find myself way back? Anyway, when I left, I did follow my marked trail to within 50 metres of the campsite, but then the trail stopped, of course, because they hadn't marked it. Now I ended up walking like down through here. I couldn't even see this rocky bluff, but I saw some rocks just to the right of it, and I thought, hang on, that's probably the start of my rocky bluff. I better turn right, and sure enough, I didn't even see the camp or the bluff, or the rocky bluff, until I was nearly on it. It'd be easy just to walk straight down through there looking for your campsite, going, oh God, where am I? And then you'd never find it unless you had GPS, which I did. I GPSed it, but that means you've got to have a battery that works and a phone that's not lost or something stupid like that. Shit happens. Well, I've had an afternoon nap in my cozy little hammock. Shadows are getting longer. The sun's gone behind the western peak. It's pretty steep down there. We'll be out tomorrow, out back over that lower ridge onto the fire trail. It's been very enjoyable in my theatre here, just sitting here watching this for the last day and a half. Awesome country. Well, good morning, 6 o'clock. Departure day from my grand theatre here in the hammock. Very nice sleep again. Have a cup of tea, pack up. Rightio then, all packed up, ready for the probably the bush bash traverse across to the ridge. Another little deep gully, little tiny gully here, but it's quite deep, and it's a bit of a bush bash. I think I've had my bush bashing quota for a while now. That's the little bastard, that little prickly bush. Well, the rocky outcrop is great because it was clear going all the way along from that last spot right across here. But now we get into a bit of bush bash before I hit the top of the ridge there. There's plenty of space, exposed of course, but so's Mount Everest. Yeah, you could camp lots of tents here. Now there's a cave you'd never see unless you were here. Okay, I'm on top of the ridge, and can you see the fire trail? I can't. I know there is a fire trail from here nearly to the gully, because I camped just beside that gully first night. I think I'm just going to walk straight down there and I'll intercept that trail. I have got the GPS, I don't really want to do all that. So I'll take a bearing on the compass bearing on that, and I'll just keep walking along, and I should intercept that trail. Compass bearing to there, 130. So I'm going to follow that and intercept that old fire trail. Okay, I've walked off the ridge, I'm on the flat now. My target is where that lake, salt lake, the left hand edge of that salt lake. I'm just heading directly for that. That's my compass bearing. Aha, do you see what I see? I've intersected the old fire trail. You beauty. Probably halfway down the fire trail. What you see on Google Maps is all these white rocks which used to be the edge of the fire trail. They show up on Google Maps. You think it's a fire break, but it ain't anymore. Pretty sure I go right. I'm going to do a Google Map check. I don't want any more surprises. Trusty Suzuki. No one's tampered with it. That's great. I'll be able to get home. Home sweet home. See my beautiful children.